Another great question. Atheists claim that no eternal life and forgiveness actually leads to more accountability here on earth. So this idea that if there wasn't a goal of eternal life and forgiveness from God, if we didn't have that, we might be more accountable in our activities here on earth. Are atheists actually more accountable because they realize this is all there is this life here on earth? And how do you respond? I think for me, it's all determined by what your view of salvation is. I do a lot of work with LDS folks because my family has got a lot of Mormons in my family, and I've had to kind of grow up in that system a little bit, at least being exposed to that system, even as an atheist. This idea that my family is working hard to please a God that requires that kind of work. I would say that in that, under that kind of view of salvation, where you have to work hard to earn your salvation, I think those folks are quite responsible, and many times they even look better than we do as Christians, if we're quite honest about it. But the idea that has captured me as a Christian, that is just so revolutionary for me as a Christian, is this idea that God has given me something that's so tremendously valuable at no cost to me, that it has transformed the way I live, because I have now a life of gratitude. You read a lot about it in secular writing too, that a life of gratitude is a goal we should all be striving toward, because a life of gratitude is really transformative. But we as Christians should know that life more than anyone else, because we actually understand the gratitude of grace, what we've been given. I don't work hard anymore to try to please a God that is with my salvation basically on the line. If I don't do well, I'm not saved. I want to respond vigorously on the basis of what's been done for me. It's in the gratitude and the recognition of what's been done that motivates me to say, really? But I've been forgiven in a way that it doesn't require, but it motivates my forgiveness. It makes me want to be more forgiving because I know what's been done for me. And I also know how much I'm in need of forgiveness. There's a passage in Matthew in which Jesus is talking at Simon's house, and he contrasts what was been done for him by Simon, by what's being done for him by the woman who is at his feet, who recognizes how much she needed to be forgiven. And out of that recognition is doing something that Simon would never even do. Simon didn't recognize his need. Those who feel like they have the least to be forgiven for are often the least forgiving in return. And so I think for me, this idea that there's any difference, I think if we are truly living a Christian life that recognizes the gift that's been given to us, we will be noticeably different in the world around us. I don't think that this idea of grace is available to the atheist. This idea that God has given you something that you could never... Once you recognize it, at 52, I recognize my own fallen condition. I recognize how far I fall short of the mark. As an atheist, there was really no way to respond to my own fallenness. But as a Christian, knowing that I've been forgiven in spite of my fallenness, I can't help but live a different way. And I think this notion of grace is so unique to the Christian worldview that it ought to produce a life that is unparalleled in the atheist worldview. And if you see that you're not living this kind of life, I think it's time for us to assess the gift that we've been given. Do we really understand what's been done for us as Christians? I do think that grace changes everything. It transforms everything. And so I would say that, you might compare the lives of Jim before he was a Christian to the life of Jim as it is now. I think most people who knew me then and know me now would say I am different. But it's not because I'm trying harder. It's not because I'm working harder to worry about my eternal life and forgiveness. It's because I'm so appreciative of the gift that's been given to me. I think that kind of life does look different.